Dream of being a successful beekeeper. I'm living the dream, and it hasn't been easy to get here, but let me show you and tell you how I did it. The bees I have now have been all bred by me. I no longer buy queens from people. I do not buy packages. If somebody is selling you something, don't trust anything they tell you. Majority of people are lying. They're just trying to make money. So let me show you my past history here. I'll go through this real quick. I bought my first package 2013 just to see if I could keep bees alive. I was successful. They made it through winter. The following spring I bought 4 more packages, and I split my original colony and I bought a queen. So I ended up with 6 colonies going into mid-July, and I split those colonies because they had so much honey and they were so large. Ended up with 12 colonies. And then January 2015, I had my first colony loss, but it wasn't really a big deal. I kept on splitting colonies, and by 2016, I had about 40 colonies. I was doing Kirk Webster's non-treatment method, and it may work for him. He's in Vermont, and he may not be around a lot of commercial beekeepers, but it worked for me up until 2016, 2017 winter when I had heavy losses. I went from about 40 down to about a half a dozen. And by April, I had maybe it's 4 colonies, 6 colonies, somewhere in that range. So I bought 14 more packages, and I ordered 40 Russian queens from Foley's Russian Bees. Let me tell you about the packages I bought. A little dusty, but this is the package. I had 14 of these. I did them all at the same time. Well, then I bought 4 more. I had a total of 18 later, but half the bees ended up on my garage roof during cleansing flights, and they died. I ended up with large colonies, small colonies, and a few weeks later, I realized they were infested with varroa mites. So that was basically a waste of money. And then most of those queens died the first summer, and I do believe they put old queens in packages to make money selling, getting rid of the old queens. They don't want to kill a queen, and they want to make some money off of her. So anyway, I ended up getting 40 Russian queens, or approximately 40, a little over 40 from Foley's Russian Bees. Half of them died during and after shipping. My first order was early July, and that was all right. I got out of 2018. And the second order, August 24, most all of them died. Maybe I got a couple of them. And what happens is, Jason Foley, and he says all the other queen dealers do this. There's screens on here. I'm using these screens for my queen cages. And they don't put the workers into cages with the queens. See, these right here, instantly 6 of them died 24 hours after he packed them. He didn't put workers. They don't put workers into cages with the queens. They put a sponge in there, and they pack the box full of workers. And naturally, they want to get out of the box. They try to get out of the box, so they block the screens. And if it's 90 degrees plus, and this is shipped next day air UPS, so I get it the next day, but even so, they get too hot. It damages their health. 6 of them died during shipping. And I contacted Main Lake, maker of the box, and they confirmed my theory. That's probably what happened. And I asked, well, I want some Minnesota Hygienics. Will you ship me some Minnesota Hygienics? They said they do not ship queens using these boxes. They don't ship queens at all because they know it's not safe to ship queens. So I had experience breeding queens before I got involved with Foley's Russian Bees. So I went back to breeding my own. And half of the colonies that survived the shipping and produced colonies, they grew slow, and half of them died the first winter because they weren't resistant to mites. Okay, we're there. And then the spring of 2018, I ended up with somewhere around 7 to 9 colonies, and I made 22 new colonies during the summer of 2018. And that fall, September, I used this formic acid. and it killed 10% of my queens. But it also killed the varroa mites. I didn't see any varroa mites in my bees that winter. So I was willing to do that again the following year, knowing that I'm going to lose 10% of my queens. It was worth the risk. So I went ahead. With these 18 colonies, I broke them all down into mating nukes. I had enough leftover reserve honey from all the bees I had previously, and I made 60 new colonies. And I used the formic acid again, and it killed 10% of my queens. And I didn't check to see if it killed the varroa mites. I just assumed. You never assume anything. But by October, I realized Formic Pro did not kill any varroa mites because my bees were dying. So I switched to acylic acid in November, and I bought this from Walmart, but you can also buy it on eBay. This is acylic acid from Florida Laboratories, and I've got 2 of these Verox vaporizers. Keep one hot at all times. I use a battery charger. I don't use a battery, I use a battery charger, and when I go out to where my bees are out in the field, I use a generator just to make sure I don't have a battery that loses power. So I keep one hot at all times. That way you're not waiting for the acylic acid vaporizer. I always have one going, and it's a lot quicker. In November, I did that last year, and it killed all the varroa mites. I couldn't find any varroa mites at all in my colonies. But the damage had already been done because they were exposed to virosis in October and part of November. I had heavy losses in April. I call it heavy losses because I was like 56 and down to 46 by May 1st. So currently I've created 70 new colonies, and let me show you those colonies. Oh, first I wanted to show you, I make everything, basically everything. I did buy some deeps and mediums a few years ago from Better Bee just to make sure I had enough. But I spent a lot of time during the winter cutting all this wood and building frames. I make all of this stuff myself. I don't buy it. It's the only way you're ever going to make any money. And here's a medium I made. I use 7/8 because that's what I started with Better Bee, 7/8. And I cut it down on a table saw, then I chisel out the handle, and I've got probably 1,000 frames still left. I build up the frames, and that way when I need them, I can go ahead and buy the foundation. It only takes me a few days to put the foundation in and get them ready. And these right here, if you haven't seen my other videos, these are my insulated fillers. I don't use nuke boxes. I use a full-size D and 5 frames. That way when the colony gets a new queen, it produces a new laying queen, you have plenty of room to slide frames over to look for that virgin queen. Never take a frame out when you have a virgin queen that might fly away. You slide it over. Let me show you. You got 5 frames in the middle, and you got insulated filler here, insulated filler there. You can take out one insulated filler, you can slide frames over. If you need to take out the other insulated filler, take that out. And you slide frames over. Never pick up the frame. And then if you need to tip the frame to see what's going on in that, you got room to tip it. You can't do that in a nuke box. I don't understand why the bee industry is so stupid. Okay, I'm going to go out here and I'll show you my bees. Oh, I also wanted to show you, I haven't seen a hive beetle since early spring. These are some mallards that I hatched from a female mallard was nesting near my property, and I scared her away because she was nesting in a bad location. She didn't come back, so I got an incubator and I hatched out 5 of them. One of them died the second night, but if you really want a close pet that's close to you, and it's not a dog or a cat, if you hatch out poultry, waterfowl, they're basically like your children. They follow you around. But when you buy ducklings and chickens or chicks, whatever, from a store, they don't seem to care about you, because when they hatch, the first person they see is who they bond with. So they will eat well, I'm expecting they'll probably fly away this fall. But I bought some more ducks, and I have chickens here, and I keep my hives up off the ground so they can go underneath and they can eat whatever falls out of the hive or whatever crawls towards the hive. And then I'm sick of corporations making crap. This is made by Black Flag. It's a bug zapper. It looked really good the first summer. It melted through the plastic, and I wasn't going to buy a new one every summer, so I went ahead and stuck wood in there. I keep it going, but there's no reason why corporations have to keep building crap. There's no such thing as quality anymore. They don't even use the word. So these right here, this is the last year's colony I left here. I have bees at a different location to make honey, and I started marking them with tape. When I check them, I put the date on there, okay, and then if I check it again, I'll write the next current date on there. And I took all my 2018, when you consider spring of 2019, I had 2018 queens left. I still have currently 7 2018 queens, and here it is mid-July 2020 in mid-Michigan. So I went ahead, some of them are slowing down. I went ahead and I split them just to see if I can get another queen off of them. And then I want to make sure all my colonies at least have a medium and just see how much honey they can do before winter. And if you want to see how I manage small colonies during the winter, you have to check out my videos. But every colony that's got tape on it has a queen. If it doesn't have the tape on it, it's currently either got a queen cell or a virgin queen in there. June was very dry. I thought July was going to be exceptionally dry, but we managed to get some rain the other night, luckily, and hopefully we'll get some more rain, because when it's dry, flowers don't produce very much nectar and robbing's a problem. I have commercial beekeepers I need for my breeding, but they also come and they rob my colonies. I tried feeding syrup this year and it didn't work, so I stopped feeding. And with the amount of, I keep Dutch white clover everywhere, they really don't need syrup, because they were putting in too much. I had one colony kill their queen because they didn't give her any cells to lay on. So here's another 2018. That was September 2018 when I bred this queen. So if they're not going to make it through winter, if you expect that queen to die during the winter, I don't want a full-size colony anyway. If I have an old queen, I'll put her in a smaller hive. That way I can check her January, February, March. Like I said, check out my videos. I do hive inspections during the middle of winter. In this room here, well, I don't want to show you how filthy that room is. I had some baby ducks, and the only place to put them was in that room. Anyway, here's some more colonies. And the tape's on the other side of these. I put it on the back side because that's where I inspect it. See, back side. Here's one of my was 2018 queen. They killed her, and they currently have a new virgin queen. So I let them. I don't requeen. I let them. If they want to kill their queen during the middle of summer, that's fine. We'll see if we can get a new one. If not, if they don't manage to produce a new queen, I'll combine them with another colony. Well, if you're spending $40 on a queen trying to make money on honey, subtract $40 from your honey. God, you guys are so stupid. It's so easy to breed your own bees. Oh, and I lose lots of hens during the fall. I had 6 last fall, so I put up this fence. And here are some ducks I bought a couple weeks ago. Some pecan and blue, whatever, I can't think of it right now. And they will eat all the bugs underneath the hives. And this one right here tried swarming on me, or absconding, not a swarming, absconding. So I got a queen excluder top and bottom. I don't know why they wanted to leave. Entourage, see, they follow me everywhere I go. And they are wild mallards, the most common duck in the world. You find them everywhere except for the North Pole and South Pole. I don't know if they're boys or girls yet. I don't know how to sex them, so at this age they all look the same. See, these are bottom screens right here. So everything falls out, and these birds will come along here. Ducks and chickens, they'll come and they'll eat whatever falls out. And I don't have trouble with hive beetles. And the bug zappers for the wax moths, and the acylic acid vaporizers for the varroa mites. The only trouble I have is with crop farmers. Last May, I had a crop farmer 150 yards away, south of me, on a windy day, planting corn, spraying. A couple hours later, I had several colonies here, bees coming out, sick, falling on the ground, dying. I happen to know the farmer. I've known him for over 30 years. I called his family, told him what had happened, gave him a chance to come over and apologize. He didn't come over and apologize. I called the state of Michigan the next day. They took samples. A month later, they told me, yes, your bees had neonicotinoids. That's why they died. And then a month after that, they told me the farmer did nothing wrong. So that's complete bullshit. Why should I have the farmer's chemicals on my property? Why can't I stop the farmer from spraying his chemicals on my property, or having his chemicals that he's spraying get on my property? So I know for a fact I've been exposed, and my wife's been exposed, my kids have been exposed for many years from all these crop farmers' chemicals. And my wife developed stage 3 breast cancer. We're eating the crap in our food. If you know what GMO is, GMO, it means the plants can handle any amount of chemicals, and it's in the plant, it's in the food. And they don't know what it's going to do to us. So they say it's safe for us, but it's not. And our government is so corrupt. When are you people going to wake up and realize it? You know, I hate crop farmers, I hate politicians, and I hate cops. The 3 groups of people I hate the most. Now, do you think I'm successful at beekeeping? I'd say I am. I'm not selling honey yet because every year I add more bees and the extra honey goes to the new colonies. I've got 24 colonies at a different location. I brought this one home yesterday because I noticed it was small when I took it over there. It hasn't grown. It hasn't grown at all. It's actually gotten smaller, and I think they picked up some. The foragers went out and got into something they shouldn't have, because there are frames in here that have brood on it, and there's no nurse bees covering the brood. And I'll show you what it looks like. When you have more brood on frames than you have bees, see? That's an example. They lost a large number of their population. They still have a queen, and hopefully they'll come back. But this is a good example of the chemicals in our environment. Farmers like to brag about feeding America. They're poisoning America. And you guys keep voting for politicians that are nothing more than puppets, or the corporate rich. God. If you want to be a beekeeper, be successful at it, you have to be intelligent. And if you're intelligent, you finally start to realize what's going on in this country. Stop watching the mainstream media. They're just brainwashing you. You're getting brainwashed. Stop watching that and you'll start waking up. Okay? Thank you.